Well, we've got with us in the studio a travel agent well known, Jan Wozniak from Freedom Travel, also a director of Isle of Man Television. Bumped into him the other day and he was pretty interested in what was being said at the last press conference by David Ashford. It came up from a question actually from Sam at Jeff about travel, and I must admit, I haven't seen any headlines anywhere. I'll just say what he said. Basically, we are not on the traffic light system here in the Isle of Man. So in the UK, you could go to a place like Malta, which is a green one at the minute. You could come back if you had your 2+2 and just resume work or play, whatever you want to do. But here in the Isle of Man, we're not following the traffic light system. So there's a week of isolation with 2 tests. Have I got that right?
That's correct. That's correct. Day 1 and day 6, testing, and 7 days self-isolation.
Right. Now, I actually thought, well, why is no one talking about this? So I actually got in touch with David Ashford, and I thought I'd better just double check that, and he confirmed it. So I will find that. I should have it ready, shouldn't I? I'll find that message because it's quite important, really, that things are going to change here, but we are not at that position yet. Yes. So I got back. Yes, we don't follow the traffic light system. Test to release is currently only for travel in the common travel area. So that's UK, Channel Islands and Ireland, isn't it?
That's correct.
Okay. Outside of the CTA, it is currently 7 days isolation with 2 tests. And when I went back to him again, he said they'll be looking at this by the end of July. I think there's probably movement slightly before that. But as it stands, I'm sure, I can't believe people must have booked holidays or thinking about booking holidays that they're safe here in the Isle of Man to do so. Are you coming across this?
Well, that's right, because basically people were under the understanding that the Isle of Man was following the UK traffic light system, which they're handling very well. At the moment, you can go to Balearics, you can go to Malta, you can go to Caribbean islands there, and so on. The whole list is there on their website. Which would have been straightforward, with no self-isolation when you return back. It's a different case when you go into amber or in red. That's understandable. So this is what we believed would happen here, and it's not just my belief. When I've spoken to a few colleagues, were in the same understanding. The situation is now booking a holiday. You either got to prepare, I'm going to take 3 weeks off because I've got to come back to the Isle of Man and self-isolate for 1 week. And basically, it's a no-no.
That is going to cause people massive issues because, they say, a 2-week holiday turns into 3 weeks. Basically.
That's right. That's right. And of course, everybody's got so many weeks a year of their holiday allowance. And of course, now in our industry, there's no doubt about it. The Balearics, Malta, they're booming. People that want to get away, they've been waiting to go on holiday. They're well-deserved holidays. Key workers want to take their families. But of course, the Isle of Man, which we should be, as a travel provider, be looking forward to some sort of kickstart, because it has been for us and travel industry a hard slog for the last 16 months.
It just seems that I can't get my head around this still. If you had your 2+2, then you're as safe as you're going to be, basically. And here in the Isle of Man, we are not going to have the same rules as the UK yet, although they are saying it may change. But that at the minute must have this uncertainty for people coming in to see you for bookings.
That's absolutely it's just put another doubt there, and people are just waiting. They're very concerned, especially when they've got family in other jurisdictions that can travel freely within the traffic light system, green light, of course, or green list. And of course, when I've reviewed it further, because I'm wondering where this remit has come from for government, I find that, and I don't want to touch it because I'm not here to advertise it, but I find Jersey have their own green light system, their own, not the UK. They even have their direct flights to Jersey went out 2 weeks ago. Yes, they're monitoring it, which indeed the UK would. But then I looked at Guernsey. Guernsey have like 4 categories, and they are monitored daily. Isle of Man, well, all we have to say is, well, if you go beyond the CTA, the common travel area, you have to self-isolate for 7 days.
That's quite bizarre. Manchester has got very high areas of infections. anyone from Manchester who's had their jabs can come in here and we can go over there. But you can't go to a country. I mean I keep saying multiple. Some countries have got very low levels, per 1,000, haven't they?
That's right.
Yeah.
In my office, a colleague said, "Well, what happens? I'm really excited. I want to go to the UK now. The borders are open. We've all been waiting anxiously. I want to go to see a football match or a concert, and I'm sitting next door beside somebody for 90 minutes, and they just come back it from one of the green light areas, and then I'm going to come back to the Isle of Man. I mean, it makes no sense because, when we've got visitors coming to the Isle of Man, it could be said that, yes, they've got their 2+2, they've had their test, and they come back in from the green light. Malta is a popular destination for a lot of the tourists that come here because they're the 50 plus that like the Malta sunshine. What's to say? What is the gateway?
Well, as I said, I think end of July was on there. I've also seen online it might be next week they may come up with a list, but a list. I wonder how they're going to create that list. Well, it seems to be the obvious way would be just to follow a UK list, wouldn't it?
I would say it'd be very simple.
Yeah.
Absolutely simple. It would also be simple for the insurance companies for travel, because at least if we're following the UK, then it makes easy for everyone. However, I suppose we've got to do it the Manx way. I don't know if the Manx way is correct.
You've been in touch with people, because I think you might be one of the few people now affected, I say travel agency businesses, who can't get back to normality with that hanging over you at the minute.
Well, certainly it's stifled our business. Again, we thought there was hope coming out of this period of time, but overseas travel, whether it's pleasure or whether it's business, is very important. Obviously, it's understandable that, and we're on top of that daily, that you have to travel within the green light system from the UK. We don't have any direct flights yet. We do have direct flights, as we say, in the can, but we can't make any plans with the way government are acting at the moment. We are pleased the borders are open, and I think that should have come sooner, but and the jabs are being rolled out, 2+2, they keep saying, and of course, we've got to be aware of everything. But the fact is, the most important thing is being able to go overseas without self-isolating when you return back to the Isle of Man.
Just thinking, you might go to one of those holiday destinations from here and spend a week in the UK, no vaccination or no swab, should I say?
Yes.
And then come back to the Isle of Man, probably, which is potty as well in itself. But anyway, we wait to find out, because this is probably something that caught us all on the hop of the press conference, because it was just put in as a sort of an aside, and I think many people will be thinking about their holidays at this stage.
Well, absolutely, and the reason that I raised it with you, Paul, the concern is, as we know, we're coming into this election fever, we're coming into the end of the term, and if it's not sorted sooner, before that, then there's going to be no overseas summer for us.
Because July and August are the big months.
Oh, big star. Everyone's waiting. Waiting.
And you were saying, so in normal years you do direct flight holidays. You pulled them again this year, have you?
Well,
we wait to find out what's going on?
Well, Paul, we tried to get clarity from government, and it hasn't been very successful. We just have to ride with what they're saying. But, we had hoped that UK looked at the Balearics, which is one of our biggest programmes. We don't go out twice a year, as it was stated in one of the briefings. We go out maybe 30 to 40 flights a year we do. It's a full season. I have people stopping me in the street. When will the direct flights start again? When will they start? I have to say, look, and I'm embarrassed for government.
Yes, think about that. If you had done one, that would also be scuppered as it stands, because everyone else that would go there would come home. Your direct flight straight back to the man, everyone had to go into isolation.
And then, exactly.
Even they had their jabs and everything.
Exactly.
Wow.
I mean,
that's not right. You haven't got them on though at the minute. You just wait.
They're waiting, but I can tell you, going to because we have our office in Palma, all you need is 2+2, and they'll let you in. All you need is your vaccine passport or your NHS card, and they'll let you in, because they want to invite us with open arms. Malta the same, but
it's not quite there. I'm talking about
clarification,
because obviously you will need the app, won't you? And we'll need this proper
Well,
thing, which hasn't. I'm just looking now. The last time I checked, it hasn't yet gone live for the Isle of Man, has it? Which is a problem in itself.
It's. I must say that in some cases, I've spoken to.
Still can't find details.
No,
yet.
well, mine is the same.
Yeah.
But some of my colleagues have got all the information through. But of course, then I realised, which wasn't very clear, because at one stage, at one of the briefings, they weren't in saying we're not going down that road. We've got our own app. Well, the only way to go on that own app is...
Well, they haven't got their own app. They've gone down that road.
They have gone down.
But I know Wales has gone onto the system and they're waiting. So it's any day now. But technically, I'm not quite sure. You'd need a hard copy, I suppose. Not even sure how you get hold of those.
With the hard copy, I can't, because our stuff, we're briefed all the time. If you want once you get live with the NHS app, you have to apply for a hard copy. It takes 5 days to be sent to you, and that's as easy as that. It's
all right. Well, we'll wrap it up only because things will change pretty quickly. We're recording this on Saturday the 3rd, and you'd hope that you're going to hear something this week anyway.
Well, I have spoken to a few people in government to try, and they themselves believed that we were going to follow the UK green light system. Themselves is stifled because they were planning holidays, or their wives were planning holidays. They were surprised to hear David Ashford's statement at the press conference. So, and indeed we are, and we just hope we can have some clarity pathway forward so that we can get back to normality.